In this video, we're gonna learn how to play the piano by ear with ARCT Pianist, Jack Chen.
So to play something by ear, especially playing along with music, you have to be able to know what the chord structure is. That's like the number one thing. So yeah, if you know the notes of each chord that's in the song, then that is pretty much the first initial step. Sure.
Well, do we want to listen to the song first, or do you want to learn about the chords first?
Let's listen to the song.
Okay, let's listen to the song first. All right, let's play it. So we're gonna be listening to Die With A Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, just the chorus part. Okay, we all know this song, very popular song. All right, so how do we start learning this?
Okay, so if you have good pitch, if perfect pitch or relative pitch, you can hear the chords. Okay. Usually you hear from the bass note. Find out what the bass note is playing. That's because your bass is always playing the root of the chord, which is the very bottom note of the chord.
So why don't we try it? Let's play it and figure out what this is.
So let's go back to...
Right?
Yeah, you got the last two right, but the first one should
really?
Yeah.
Why did I get it wrong? So
you probably heard a different note and you took it as the bass.
So how do we correctly identify what the bass note is?
Off phone speakers is hard, but if you listen on like proper high quality speakers or headphones, you can pick out the lowest frequency note.
Okay, so why don't you play one more time and you hum what the bass note is?
All right.
What? Is that really the bass note? What?
I am pretty sure
I feel like you could hum any note in the chord and it could be a bass note.
Yeah.
Right?
Here, I'll play it based on the bass notes you hummed.
Okay.
You went down, and then these two are right. That's what I would play based on the notes you hum.
All right, okay. So step number one is getting the bass note, but I think it's really important that we figure out how to properly get the bass note. Because if we get the bass note wrong, what can we do? We're just infinitely stuck.
What most people do who don't necessarily have the best ear, or even if they do have a good ear, they just want to confirm, they would just search the chords online. Okay. That's like an easy solution. Because the number one thing you have to know is you have to get the right chords.
Right. Cheat way is get the chords online until you start figuring out over time.
Exactly. Until you develop your ear, develop your sense of pitch, then you can start figuring out for yourself.
Okay, let's keep moving on then. So what are the four bass notes we're dealing with here?
So
B
the
minor,
bass notes are B,
B,
into E,
E,
into C sharp,
C sharp,
and then F sharp.
F sharp. Okay. B, E, C sharp, F sharp.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now that we know the bass notes, what do we do next?
Then you build up the chords from there. So for example, a B is, in this case, it's going to be a B minor 7.
Again, how do we know this without searching the chords? Or we just have to search the chords?
You would have, I mean, again, or you could just hear it, because it's obviously not a B major. It's not this.
That's B major?
Yeah.
This is B minor.
If you don't have the best pitch, you could, I mean, as long as you know the bass note, you can try to guess. Like, is it a major? Does it sound major? No?
Right.
Let's try minor. Does it sound minor?
Right.
Yes.
So the first thing I have to identify is major or minor, right? So I guess one thing they could do is kind of sing it. If the world, that works, right?
Yeah.
If we did major, if the world,
yeah,
it's weird.
It sounds weird.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So know your first four notes and then identify major, minor.
Yeah.
So if I were to do it right now, so I know B, right?
Yeah.
If the world B minor was ending, I, E major, want to be next to
C sharp minor.
You.
Yep.
So that's the most basic form of the chord.
Yeah.
Right?
Just 1 through 5.
And then they could probably just already play the song like that.
Yeah, if you're able to play triads.
Yeah. Well, is triads not the easiest form of the chord?
Yeah, it is the easiest.
So why don't you show them with the triads and the melody what that sounds like?
All right.
Okay, and that's it. That's pretty much playing by ear. Like, that's the minimum you need to sound like you're playing the song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, wait, let me try it. Well, what are the notes? Okay. Okay, so now we know how to play by ear. Now how do we make it nicer?
To make this more interesting, we can start adding sevenths. So turning a triad into a seventh chord.
Okay, so why don't you explain to everyone what a seventh is?
Yeah, so a seventh is essentially, it's referring to the seventh note of the chord. The seventh note of the chord, yeah.
So why don't you show them an example of a C chord first? That's the easiest to show
C
the
chord,
seventh.
sure.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is a C major triad. I just added the higher octave here.
And the C major triad, you're playing 1, 3, 5, 8 right now with the higher triad.
Exactly, yeah, 1, 3, 5, 8. So essentially, how we get 1, 3, 5, 8 is C is 1, E is 3, the third note, right? 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
So we get 1, 3, 5, 8. So to get 1, 3, 5, 7, which is what a seventh chord is, you just go, instead of using 8, you just move it down 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
That's a 7.
And now we just translate this to our B minor chord.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But we also have to keep in mind the key that we're in. In this case, I believe we are in... Okay, yeah. So the key we're in right now is A major.
You said we have to know what key we're in, right? I mean, but I could have played this without knowing what key we're in.
It's true, but that's to avoid having like any mishaps with like the seventh being like sharp or flat or whatever. We don't know which seven we're using.
Because if we use, we know by the sound. Well, maybe just I know by the sound what a seventh sounds like.
Yeah, it's better to know the key so you know for sure which notes are sharp, which notes are not. Which notes are flat.
Then this comes into how do we find the key?
That is, again, you do it by ear or you can just search it.
But how do we do it by ear?
Basically, what I do is I hear the chords. And once you find out the chords in the song, you then try to listen for like the one chord, the original chord, like the
first chord.
Exactly, yeah.
Which in this case would be what?
An A major chord.
And how do we know that?
A major 7. Just because you listen to the notes, the chords of the song, you hear it's a B minor 7 into an E7, C sharp minor 7 to F sharp minor 7.
But or another simpler way, if you can identify it, is just know what a 7 sounds like. And then you can just play your 3 chord and just play around until you find that sound. Because it's a very distinct sound, the 7th sound.
Yeah, if you have some music experience and you listen to a lot of music, and you can kind of tell.
So you can do it 2 ways. Either okay, so let's keep moving on here. So are we playing 7ths for everything? So B minor 7.
Yeah.
And then E7. E major 7.
No, this will be an E7. So not a major or minor, it's an E dominant 7. Yeah.
And what's after that?
A C sharp minor 7.
A C sharp minor 7.
Yep.
Okay.
And then F sharp minor 7.
Okay. So putting it together, it's let me try it. Shit.
E7.
Okay, so now we have the chords and the melody, right? Okay, so let's try it. Why don't you play one time for them, just like this, through the chorus?
Just like
with the
basic?
7ths, yeah.
Okay, just the basic version, right?
With one melody note.
Yep.
Keep going. Yeah, go all the way through.
Oh, then the chords are different here.
Yeah, but you can keep going. Yeah, as long as they understand the concept of how to find the chords or search it online, doesn't matter if the chords are different. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's it. Why don't you end it off showing us your by-ear version of Die With A Smile from the chorus?
Sure.
If you guys found this video helpful, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends.